everybody, to the Almost Sideways podcast. We're so glad you are joining us. This is episode 116. We are recording this on Sunday, March 7th, 2021 at 3 o'clock Pacific time, which is the only time that really matters because we are minus our central time zone friend today. I'm your host, Terry Plucknett. Joining me is my brother, Todd Plucknett. And yes, Zach Saltz is not with us today. As he said on the last podcast, he had to take a vacation to Northwest Arkansas. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure that you subscribe, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, on Pandora, on Spotify. Do it whether you listen to us or not. Give us that 5-star review. Yeah, it helps us get heard by more people, get up some of their popularity lists. Make sure you're doing that. Todd, what are you drinking today?
I have a vodka martini in my Nebraska glass. That's where you should have been vacationing.
There we go. Yes. All right. Well, I didn't go to the brewery today because we made some trips earlier this week when Todd may have been down visiting, and so I just grabbed some stuff out of my fridge, which actually is from a local Portland brewery, Breakside Brewery, which, Todd, I don't know if you realize, but yesterday when you were down here, we drove by it when we were on Deacom in Portland. Anyways, this is their True Gold ale. It's nice and light. It's got a beaver, I think, on the front.
Yeah. Oh no, it looks like a deer.
I think it
definitely has antlers.
Yeah, it might be a deer. I don't know. It's on a motorcycle, but it's a nice light, good tasting beer. Get into these nomination predictions here. So yeah, the Oscar nominations come out on Monday, March 15th, early in the morning as always. And so we're going to run through just some basic what we think is going to happen, who we think is going to be nominated in the major categories. Todd, I know you usually write some articles, and they're coming out sometime this week, right?
Yeah. I mean, especially because the Critics' Choice could anoint another person tonight that could change some things. And then I think the Directors Guild, the BAFTAs, and the Producers Guild all come out in the next 2 days. So sometime after Tuesday, I will come up with my official final predictions. But this is as close as I can come at this moment.
Yeah, we're doing this a little early. And there are some things that are going to happen in the next week that could adjust it, but we're gonna go with it and see what we got here. I'm just gonna tell you, I've got some random ones out there because I think we know less about this race, even though usually the Oscars are done by now. We know less about this race than any other Oscars race ever, just because of the pandemic, because of all the different things about what when movies came out and everything, and the extended window. We know nothing.
And what qualifies as a movie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We know nothing. So I think there's going to be chaos. That's just kind of my prediction. So I've got some chaos predictions in here. Okay, so we're going to start with Best Adapted Screenplay. And go from there. So let's just kind of we'll each read off our 5, and then we'll kind of react to that. So Todd, why don't you go first? Your 5 for adapted screenplay.
So I got
in order from like your favorite, the locks to most vulnerable.
Okay, so that would be number 1, Nomadland. Number 2, The Father. Number 3, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Number 4, One Night in Miami. And number 5, News of the World.
All right, so we're almost the same. We've got the same first 4, just in a different order. I've got number 1, Nomadland. Number 2, One Night in Miami. Number 3, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Number 4, The Father. And number 5, I got Borat Subsequent Movie Film.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but the one thing that gives me pause about that is there's like 10 writers that are listed as official writers on that movie. Do you think they're going to give 10 nominations for one hardly scripted movie? I think that's stretching it.
The only reason I'm even considering it is they already have nominated him for writing a Borat film.
Well, yeah, but that also included other pretty prominent figures like Todd Phillips. But I mean, this is just like just a random scattering of people that are all attached as something.
I could see it happening. I'm thinking it gets in there, and
News of
when
the
you
World
look
is so
at it,
old-fashioned Oscar stuff.
it
I feel like
is.
that has to get that fifth spot. But I mean, if you're looking for something out there, I mean, I'm thinking of anythings. They do like Charlie Kaufman at times.
That's true too. That's
and
true too.
I wouldn't count out like the White Tiger got in for the White Writers Guild, I believe, and then you also, of course, have Hillbilly Elegy, which would be a very Oscar thing to do.
Hillbilly Elegy, I think, is a wild card in so many places in this because it just is so Oscar baity. I think if you want to go out on a limb too, First Cow. First Cow's kind of right there. I'm looking at Gold Derby and their odds. They got First Cow right now in 6th.
Yeah,
so
I mean, but that I don't know. That would be a real weird one though,
it would be.
That doesn't fit the Oscar profile in any way.
It doesn't fit the Oscar profile, but it feels like it would fit the year. I think that's something that you could see something like that come away with that because it's this year.
And because it was released in theaters.
It did get a theatrical run. Anyways,
well, we are pretty similar in that though.
We are. And if I would say if one of those 4 doesn't get in, that'd be really weird.
Well, the thing is though, the Oscars don't like play adaptations, especially for screenplay. And those are 3.
There's going to be 2 that get in.
Yeah, 3 of those 4 are play adaptations.
Oh yeah.
And, like they didn't give A Few Good Men a screenplay nomination, and that was Aaron Sorkin, and that was a Best Picture nominated movie. So I mean, like they really try to avoid that. And if the whole category is littered with play adaptations, that would be just as weird as snubbing one of those predetermined winners, kind of.
So they don't like pluvies, huh? According to Amy and Tina.
Yes, they don't like pluvies. They didn't even nominate Glengarry Glen Ross. So
yeah, that is a very interesting part of this too. So maybe one of them doesn't make it. That'd be if one of those 3 of One Night Miami, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and The Father doesn't make it. Which one? I think you said One Night Miami is the most vulnerable, right?
Yeah, well, I mean I guess. I mean, I think that's the least likely to win the category, but yeah, I guess I would probably be the one most likely to get snubbed, just because it seems like Leslie Odom Jr., his performance and song are pretty much the only real locks from that movie.
See, and I have The Father as the most vulnerable, partially because I think that might have the as we move along the smallest pedigree on everything else going on. So we'll get to that in a sec.
Well, the BAFTAs could change that.
I mean, the BAFTAs are gonna. That's a BAFTA movie if there ever was one. So, all right, original screenplay. Should I go first this time?
Sure.
I'll go first this time. Okay, so original screenplay. I've got number 1, Trial of the Chicago 7. Number 2, Promising Young Woman. Number 3, Minari. Number 4, Mank. And number 5, Soul.
All right, we're pretty similar. I have number 1, Promising Young Woman. Number 2, Trial of the Chicago 7. Number 3, Minari. Number 4, Mank. And number 5, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I've got just out then. And I mean, Soul's kind of taken that's another stab I'm taking with that. But I mean, it's Pete Docter. They did give Inside Out the screenplay nomination. This feels the most like Inside Out of any Pixar movie. So they don't like to give Pixar the screenplay nominations anymore, but I think Soul would be the one they would give it to.
Yeah, and
it all depends on how much they like.
Sort of missed on a lot of the precursors, and I know it's not eligible for the Writers Guild, but it's just I don't know. I mean, it's missed on like the Best Picture nomination at the Critics' Choice kind of thing that past nominees have gotten, and I mean, it is in that 6, 7, 8 range. I mean, I would have no problem. Like that'd be an awesome nomination if it got in.
It would be cool. I like how once again we have the same top four. The other ones I could see potentially crashing the party. It would be so cool if Sound of Metal crashed the party, but I don't think it's going to happen. The one that would just like throw everything out of whack is if Palm Springs somehow took that 5th spot.
Yeah, that was on my last predictions actually published, which were in like October or something, and I still think there's an outside chance of that because everyone just kind of knows it was the best comedy of the year, even though the Golden Globes are dumb and give it to Borat. But I don't know. That would be pretty. That'd be pretty amazing if Palm Springs somehow sneaks out or sneaks in there.
They usually throw in like that one comedy that's just super original. I mean, I think like The Big Sick. The Big Six slid in there.
You could say that's Promising Young Woman, though.
True.
Because that is not an Oscar movie at all. But I mean, it is really a flashy new age kind of comedic, darkly comedic movie.
So you think Promising Young Woman is the favorite right now over Trial of Chicago 7?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, because like those are the kind of movies that win original screenplay, at least historically. Like there are times when they give original screenplay to just like the best movie that is in the category, like when they gave it to The Hurt Locker, Milk, or something like that. But usually it's kind of like the most original movie in the bunch.
And they have given it to Aaron Sorkin before, so I guess it is possible.
He's only won once, and he got snubbed for Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that's true too.
After winning the Golden Globe, and I mean, yeah, he was nominated sort of for Moneyball because it was like a 3-person screenplay that he had part in writing, and Molly's Game. But
I still say Chaos is if they decide to give Best Original Screenplay to David Fincher's dad, that has been dead for like 20 years. Like that'd just be insane.
There are a lot of posthumous options now. I just read today that the sound mixer for Nomadland died earlier this week, and
whoa.
So there, I mean, that'd be another like weird thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Okay.
And then of course Chadwick Boseman.
Of course. Which I'm sure we're going to talk about here very soon. Supporting actress. Todd, give me your 5.
Okay, for supporting actress, I have number 1, Glenn Close. Number 2, Olivia Colman. Number 3, Yoo Jun-yoon. Number 4, Helena Zengel. And number 5, Ellen Burstyn. And this is where our predictions come crashing down, right?
Yes. Wow. Okay. Well, we've got the same top 3. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Number 1's I have Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy. Number 2, I have Olivia Colman, The Father. Number 3, I have Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari, who I don't even feel is a lock, but that's my number 3.
Oh, I think there are 0 locks in this category. I could see any one of them getting snubbed.
Yeah. I don't know. I think. Yeah. All right. So number 4, I have Amanda Seyfried, Mank, and number 5, I have Maria Bakalova, Borat's subsequent movie film.
Okay, so you sort of went.
I went a little more chalk on this one.
Yeah, but like I said, this is the one there is no lock in this category because Hillbilly Elegy is generally like looked at as a bad movie. The Father has its issues with their screeners. Yoo Jun-yoon, that's a classic, like last minute overlooked performance. And then like I had Helena Zengel because I think that is that's an Oscar type kind of thing. But I mean, at the same time, nobody's predicting that. And Ellen Burstyn has really only gotten in once. And you had what, Maria Bakalova, who, I mean, that is not an Oscar thing at all.
It's not. But they love Borat. That's kind of what I'm going with.
Best Actress at the Golden Globes might have said something. And Amanda Seyfried, I mean, I think she has a really good chance of winning tonight. If she wins tonight, I think she's probably locked in, but she did not have a SAG nomination.
Yeah. I mean, she feels like she's like the safe, not like she's safe in the lineup, but she's the safe nominee. Like all these nominees are like, I think Close and Coleman. I mean, you've got the Close Hollywood royalty. You've got Coleman, the former winner, first chance to get another nomination, and then everybody else. I feel like Amanda Seyfried's the one that's like, okay, this is the one that makes the most sense to nominate, and that's why I feel like she's gonna get in there. Yu Jung Young, like you said, it's a classic gonna get missed. I mean, it's how at the end of when push came to shove, Zhao Shuzhen for The Farewell
Right.
and what's his name for Parasite all of a sudden fell off the lists and were nowhere to be found. And she could easily be
Parasite's
that
a little
too.
different because Song Kang-ho didn't really get any of the major nominations. Yu Jung has at least shown up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Zhao Shuzhen didn't show up in a lot of those earlier ones either. But
the thing that throws it all out of whack is Jodie Foster won the Golden Globe, and
I know. And
that's a movie that nobody really has still seen, and she's not that great in it. So it's like we know nothing about this category, and
yeah,
I think the BAFTAs could clear up some stuff, but I don't know.
I put Jodie Foster in 6th. Simply and I feel like the only reason she won the Golden Globe is because the Globes love their stars, and she is the star. Yeah, and making that comeback, I felt like she, but I don't think the Oscars care that much about that.
I think Helena Zengel is a big threat in this category, and I don't know that anyone's really realizing it, but she's nominated tonight for the Best Young Actress. She's probably going to walk away with that one. And she's shown up everywhere else she has to, and she's a European actress, which helps.
Yeah. And yeah, that would be something if all of a sudden if she got in. They like their child stars too. All right, you ready for the out of nowhere pick that could crash this party too if we really know nothing?
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan for Ammonite. Just throw her in there. I mean, she's
nominated. She's been nominated what, 5 times?
And she's 22 or something like that. Yeah, she's.
That movie is one of the most bizarrely forgotten movies that I can remember coming into an Oscar season, because that movie was supposed to be like sort of almost a lock 2 nominations, and it really has shown up nowhere in any category.
Yeah,
and it's not like it's that poorly received either.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but the reception I kind of heard, and even looking at it, it's like, oh, it's the English language Portrait of a Lady on Fire, but not as good cinematically and not as strong of a script, is kind of what I've heard. But still, I mean, it's Kate Winslet and Saoirse Ronan, and so I don't know. Saoirse just seems to be anointed as the new Oscar darling, so I could see her sliding in just because she's in the race and she's getting nominated whenever she's in something.
Well, there was another movie like that this year that came out late, like February, and that was the World to Come, which was it was Vanessa Kirby and Catherine Waterston, and that was I think an endlessly better movie. It also had Casey Affleck and Christopher Abbott in there, and like it's a. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe that sort of thing has just been like, yeah, Portrait of a Lady on Fire is like the model, and these ones just aren't living up to that. So they're just like, okay, we can pass on these.
So we're both saying this is how much nobody knows what's going on. We are both saying Glenn Close is still the favorite to win. On Gold Derby right now, she's in 4th. It's Olivia Colman 1, Yu Jung-yoon 2, Amanda Seyfried 3, Glenn Close 4, Jodie Foster 5, then Maria Bakalova, Helena Zengel, Ellen Burstyn, Saoirse Ronan, and Dominique Fishback for Judas and the Black Messiah rounds out the top 10. I don't think she has any shot.
Well, I mean, that all depends on how much people have seen the movie, because I think that movie has struggled so far because it hadn't been widely distributed, but now that people are watching it, people are really starting to love it. And now Daniel Kaluuya is winning, so more people are watching it. Maybe that could start getting into these other categories. Dominique Fishback would be an absolute jaw dropper if she's spit out her name on Oscar morning, but I don't know.
That would be cool, though. That would be so cool. The high school kid, the 30-year-old high school kid from Project Power, goes on and gets Oscar nominated.
Well, okay, so you don't think Ellen Burstyn has any shot? Because doesn't that feel like the kind of thing that when you're watching the nominations unfold and then they spit out that one name and you're just like, oh yeah, I mean, why didn't I see that coming before? Of course they were going to end up nominating her.
Yes, but I mean, I feel like Ellen Burstyn's performance in Pieces of a Woman it kind of fills the same role as Glenn Close's performance in Hillbilly Elegy. It's the legendary actress playing the matriarch, and not a huge it's not a huge part with a whole lot to do. Maybe has a scene or two, but getting the nomination off a reputation, and it's rare that when you look at the nominations, it's rare you see, oh, here are two that are getting the nomination for the exact same reason.
Well, Glenn Close is a lot more flashy and a lot more obvious that she's acting.
True.
But Ellen Burstyn, it's a subtle role, and a lot of times those get nominated. And I think people do really like the movie. They're just hesitant to anoint it because Shia LaBeouf's in it. But I mean, if you could nominate the other performances, I think that's easier than giving it a Best Picture nomination or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Okay. All right. Supporting actor now. It's another one that I don't know. Okay. Supporting actor. I have number 1, Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah. Number 2, Sacha Baron Cohen, Trial of Chicago 7. Number 3, Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. Number 4, Chadwick Boseman, The Five Bloods. And number 5, Jared Leto, The Little Things.
All right, we have the same top 3. I have Daniel Kaluuya, Sacha Baron Cohen, Leslie Odom Jr. Number 4, maybe I'm going with my heart, Paul Raci, Sound of Metal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you still come back to what's the best performance, and I think that he has a good chance of winning. Today the Critics' Choice because he
won all the Critics Awards.
Yeah, because he is the Critics' Choice like throughout the year, and then. They do this every once in a while, and I think they're going to do it this year. My number 5 is Kingsley Benadir for One Night in Miami.
Oh.
He's being campaign lead everywhere, but sometimes they're just like, screw it, we're gonna mess this up. And they did that with like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed. They're just like, he's lead all season, and all of a sudden the SAGs put him supporting, and it screwed up his eligibility. And then they did with Kate Winslet for The Reader, where she was winning supporting all season, and then she gets snubbed in supporting, but then she ends up getting the lead nomination at BAFTA for both movies, and then she gets the lead nomination.
I'm still ticked about that one, because I think if that stays put, she wins actress and supporting actress that year. I think she takes both.
Yeah, I mean, and she probably the SAG they had a tie. And she wasn't one of the ties for Best Actress. Remember, it was Meryl for Doubt and Rachel getting married, Anne Hathaway.
Was that the SAG or was that Critics' Choice? I feel like that was Critics' Choice.
Maybe. No, I don't know. Well, okay. Well, Meryl won the SAG because I remember that was when she's like, "I'm not even wearing a dress." Like I wasn't supposed to win.
Yeah,
I guess I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, we can figure that out.
So yeah, it was the Critics' Choice that they tied, and she won. Meryl won at the SAG.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, but I think that Kate Winslet probably would have won for Revolutionary Road too.
See, that's what I think. Because they love her. Anyways, so you've got Kingsley Benadir as your 5th?
Yeah, and the one I had as my other one that could slide in, because this one it's not going chalk. I don't think Jared Leto's eventually going to make it in, even though if he did, that would be kind of cool. And Chadwick Boseman, it's hard to see 2 posthumous nominations in the same year.
But with how beloved he is...
Well, I mean, but I don't know. When they nominated James Dean twice, they were in separate years for both of them posthumously. I don't know if they do that here, because then that might also split him votes. And I don't think he's going to win both, and I don't think he has a chance to win both. But people might want to win. I don't know. It could screw up his actual narrative.
Yeah.
Or whatever. The one that I was going to put in, because on Gold Derby I can't actually choose Kingsley Ben-Adir because he's not in the category.
He's in lead. Yeah.
Was Glenn Turman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Ooh, okay.
Which, I mean, when we reviewed it, I kind of still stand by it. Singling out one of the supporting guys in that movie is kind of stupid, but Glenn Turman is the one that has actually gotten some major nominations. He's nominated at the Spirit Awards as well. I think Coleman Domingo is actually also, but there's these like massive ensemble casts. Like I think Frank Langella still is a real possibility, and Mark Rylance.
Yeah, I think Mark Rylance is the one there. I think when Charles Chicago 7 first came out, another one that everyone was talking about was Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and he's not really in the picture as much anymore, but I don't know.
I think his part's just too small. I mean, I think he was one of the highlights of that movie, and he really hasn't gotten much love. The one that I'm confused about is Stanley Tucci and Supernova. That's one that I really thought was going to be a last minute like threat in a lot of things, but I mean, unless he gets a SAG or the BAFTA nomination, then he's still got no shot. And I guess nobody's really seen the movie.
Right, no one's seen it. I've heard it's really good. There might be some backlash there of the push recently that gay characters should only be played by gay actors, and so there might be a little bit of backlash with that. I find it interesting that you have 2 One Night in Miami people in your list when all awards season, it's like, which of the Chicago 7 people are going to get in there? Could this be 5 Chicago 7 actors nominated for supporting actor, and they're only going to get one, and someone else is going to get a double nomination? I could see it happening, but that'd be really
well. I mean, One Night in Miami is an actor's movie, and so is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
True.
But yeah, I mean, and this is another category that's just hard.
So
that's why I think there's going to be one shocker in there. It's not. I don't think we could just go with the top 5 on Gold Derby.
So everything we're saying here, all that means is that Bill Murray is getting nominated for On the Rocks.
Which I don't think anybody would complain about.
No one would complain about. So yeah, right now, Gold Derby, their top 5 is Kaluuya, Cohen, Odom, Racy, and Boseman, with Leto, Rylance, Murray, Strathern, and Langella as 6 to 10.
And then, like, what would be like your favorite like random thing to happen? Because this one could have an absolutely random nomination. Like, it's got to be like Bo Burnham, right?
Bo Burnham would be amazing if he got in there. I would love that. I would love it if Bo Burnham got in there. I was also looking. Who else did I see on? Jeremy Strong, Child's Chicago 7 would be a lot of fun too. One of the less heralded ones. Or even like a Robin De Jesus from Boys in the Band. I thought he was really good in that.
Well, he's the one that won the Tony for that, right?
I think so.
He's the little guy, right?
Yeah. He's the little guy.
Well, and my favorite part of Defy Bloods was Clark Peters. I mean, if somehow he emerges after all this and gets nominated, that'd be pretty cool.
So let's just go down to let's see here, number 46 on Gold Derby's predictions, and go with Jesse Plemons for Judas and the Black Messiah. I mean, Jesse Plemons needs an Oscar nomination.
Well, he's now the lead in the new Scorsese movie, so.
Oh, that's true. All right, let's move off of supporting actor and into another. I mean, all these acting categories are ridiculous, and so best actress. Todd, give me yours first.
All right, I don't like this category. It's too hard. I have number 1, Frances McDormand for Nomadland. Number 2, Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Number 3, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman. Number 4, Carey Mulligan 4, Promising Young Woman, and number 5, I guess I will say Andra Day for the United States versus Billie Holiday, but it could be basically anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the one I think that is probably going to end up, I mean, because I can picture it happening when I'm watching the nominations be unveiled, is Sophia Loren. But I think the movie is terrible, and but I mean, it's probably going to get at least 2 more nominations, so why not?
All right. Here's what I got. I got number 1, Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. Number 2, Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Number 3, Frances McDormand, Nomadland. Number 4, Andra Day, United States versus Billie Holiday. Number 5, Amy Adams, Hillbilly Elegy.
I don't know what you think is wrong with Vanessa Kirby.
I don't think anything is wrong with Vanessa Kirby.
I think that she could win tonight.
I still like your narrative of her potentially pulling off the win. At the same time, I could see see her missing the nomination.
Amy Adams does have a ton of nominations. I mean, the problem here is Yeri Han is in the wrong category. She should be in supporting, and she probably would be getting some love there.
That's possible, yeah.
I don't know. I was trying to choose between Andra Day and Rosamund Pike for the 5th spot, and I don't know. I mean, Andra Day has a very Oscar-y type role in a movie that is being looked at as kind of a mess. So that kind of hurts the narrative. But Rosamund Pike is in a movie that also sort of nosedives in the second half. So
I haven't seen I Care a Lot yet. I still need to watch that, but that's what I'm hearing. Nothing tells me Amy Adams is getting in there other than the fact that it's Amy Adams, and Hillbilly Elegy just feels so much like an Oscar movie. So
it's an old-fashioned Oscar movie.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like her getting in for American Hustle. But she's got a better part. Like, she's got a more Oscar Beatty part than she did then. So I gotta think she has a shot. And I could easily see them reading it off and everyone going, "What the hell?"
Well, see, I keep saying I think Carey Mulligan could get snubbed. Like, I had her in 4th.
Yeah.
And I mean, if she doesn't get in, then that's going to open up the door for one of those weird ones to pop in there. And
there's a narrative for Mulligan, Davis, McDormand, Day, and Kirby winning. There's a narrative for all 5 of those winning. And the fact that that's our 5, I don't know. It still doesn't, like you said, it doesn't feel sure that that's our 5. Even though they're the ones that are the favorites.
So there's got to be one in there that has no shot at winning. And that would be Sophia Loren.
Or Amy Adams.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. So, Gold Derby, let me get this here. Gold Derby's got Carey Mulligan 1, Viola Davis 2, Frances McDormand 3, Andra Day 4, Vanessa Kirby 5. And then their 6 to 10 is Zendaya 6, Rosamund Pike 7. Yeah, I don't think so either. Sophia Loren 8, Amy Adams 9, Michelle Pfeiffer 10 for French Exit.
Yeah, that's not happening either.
Let's just blow everything up and throw in Sidney Flanigan for Never Really, Sometimes Always. Like,
I would have no problem with that.
I don't think anybody would, except it was such a small time movie.
One of the last movies released in theaters.
I would also have no problem seeing Elizabeth Moss get in there for either of the 2 movies that she had, Invisible Man or Shirley.
For sure.
And the other one that I really like this year, it's kind of undeniable how good Anya Taylor-Joy is in Emma. I saw you just recently watched that one.
Yeah, I agree.
She's awesome.
She's had a big year. I mean, Queen's Gambit has her on everyone's mind too. So
yep. So there's my out of nowhere. So that means the 5th slot is going to Rada Blank for 40-year-old version.
that would be the weirdest nomination of all time.
It would be. All right. Best Actor. I'll go first here. I think there's 4 locks here. So I've got Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom 1, Anthony Hopkins, The Father 2, Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal 3, Gary Oldman for Mank 4, and Stephen Yeun for Minari 5. What do
So
you
I
got?
have the exact same thing, except I have Mank, or Oldman and Yoon flipped. So we have the
Okay.
same 5.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely right now. It hurts me to say Delroy Lindo is missing. I would love to see him get in there.
So
Um,
what's going to happen when you have the BAFTAs put in the British 5 or whatever? They like leave off Chadwick Boseman and they have Hopkins, Ahmed, Oldman, Lindo, and then they have Stephen Yeun because everyone loves Minari. Like, what happens when that happens? Then what are we looking at here?
I don't know. I don't know. How do we? Yeah, I don't know. It's and are we really thinking we're gonna get 2 acting nominations for Minari, uh, a film not that isn't is primarily in a different language? I mean, I guess we had it with Roma. Is Minari this year's Roma? I mean, we keep on saying that Nomadland is this year's Roma.
Well, true. I mean, yeah, I guess there aren't a whole lot of movies that get multiple nominations in acting when they're not in English, but it's an American
It's
movie.
really
Like we said, it is
fun.
the most American movie.
It is. It is. Like we talked about when we reviewed it last week. It's the American dream personified in a movie.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I
So
just don't.
when James Corden is nominated, is that when we just like stop watching the Oscars?
I still need to see the prom. Okay,
Well,
I
okay,
could
so I was
see.
looking at Variety, and our boy Clayton Davis had his number 5. He had Mads Mikkelsen, which would be an amazing nomination, but
I've
that would
got him on
also
my short list. Like I had 2 others written down, and they were Delroy Lindo and Mads Mikkelsen.
that would leave off. I mean, you would think that if he gets in, that probably leaves off either Riz Ahmed or Stephen Yeun, which would be kind of devastating in both cases.
Yeah,
I mean, I
see.
think I think Gary Oldman has the Oscariest role, but at the same time, like I have him number 5 because I'm just like, I don't know that everyone's gonna love the movie. I mean, there's a lot of people that really don't like the movie.
But there's something to nominating a former winner on their first opportunity back to the party.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see that with Olivia Colman. You're going to see that with Gary Oldman. Um. So yeah, could there be something against Stephen Yeun in the fact that he is up to this point has been primarily a TV actor? I
Well,
mean,
he
you've
had
seen that.
Burning, and I mean, he was making a run at a nomination for Burning just a couple of years ago. He's proven
Yeah.
himself to be a legitimate theatrical actor, but I don't know. I mean, I still think he's sort of an underdog, which is unfortunate.
He is. He is. I think Minari is just kind of an underdog in this whole thing. So maybe it ends up pulling out Best Picture. I mean, who really knows?
Well,
Okay.
what about Tom Hanks? You're still
I
sitting there with Tom Hanks there, definitely in the run. He's nominated for the Critics' Choice. My
I mean,
year-long favorite for Best Picture.
it took him being Mr. Rogers to finally get another nomination. So did that like break the curse, or and
Yeah,
he's
but he was the
back,
first
or
celebrity to get COVID too.
that's very true too. Well, was it News of the World that they were filming?
I don't
I don't
know. I
know.
mean, he was in
In
Australia.
Australia, maybe not.
It could have been. I mean, I don't know where they shot that.
I don't
I
know.
thought it'd been
Yeah.
like New
So
Mexico.
Gold Derby's got Chadwick Boseman 1, Anthony Hopkins 2, Riz Ahmed 3, Gary Oldman 4, Stephen Yeun 5. So it's the exact same thing I had. 6 to 10 is Delroy Lindo, Tahar Rahim, Kingsley Benadir, Mads Mikkelsen, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah, with Tom Hanks 11th. John David Washington 12th.
Yeah.
James Corden 20.
Oh.
Tom Hanks for Greyhound, 25. See, Andy Samberg needs to take that last spot. Not gonna happen, but man, wouldn't that be cool? All right, let's move on to director now. Why don't you read off your 5 first?
All right. Number 1, I have Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. Number 2, David Fincher for Mank. Number 3, Aaron Sorkin, The Trial of Chicago 7. Number 4, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. And number 5, Spike Lee for Da 5 Bloods.
Ooh, okay. We have the top 4 are exactly the same. Chloe Zhao, David Fincher, Aaron Sorkin, Lee Isaac Chung. I've got Regina King, One Night in Miami, number 5.
I don't know that it's that strong of a contender in those categories. I mean, she got the Golden Globe nomination, but it's the play adaptation thing. I'm not sure.
I think they will go for the narrative of nominating 2 women for the first time
And you think they're going to do that before they do Emerald Fennell? I think Emerald Fennell.
I've got Emerald Fennell. For me, that 5th spot is a coin toss between Regina King and Emerald Fennell. I think they may side with Regina King in the fact that they just gave her an Oscar a couple years ago for acting.
So the same thing you're saying as with Gary Oldman.
They like, once you're in the club, they like to keep you there as much as they can.
But sometimes it takes a while. Like, they still haven't given Halle Berry her next nomination. It took like 10 years for Angelina Jolie to get her second one, and she had like A Mighty Heart, and she had all the nominations for that. They still haven't given Tilda Swinton her second one, and she's had plenty of opportunities. It's not something they do all the time, but there are times when you're just like, okay, there's your validation nomination.
It would be great to see Spike in there. I think he definitely deserves it. So
he had a really big movie. Like there was a lot going on in that movie, and
the problem is it was just so long ago. I mean, that came out in May?
Yeah.
So everyone, I mean, if The 5 Bloods came out in November, Spike's in for director, Delroy Lindo is locked in for actor, Chadwick is locked in for supporting, and maybe even one other.
Well, see, when we reviewed it, I was the only one that said Chadwick was great. You guys were all over the other actors, and I was like, I don't know. Chadwick in that movie, I think that is his best performance he ever gave, but it is sort of lost because everything is flashback with that character. He's never interacting with the main characters in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know that he would ever be a lock, but I think he is great.
I think that performance plays so different with it. That performance is like the perfect posthumous performance to have, and so I think he needs to get recognized for it. Anyways, okay. I think so director, I think 4 are pretty set, and then we'll see what happens with that 5th spot.
Yeah, Paul Greengrass. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, Paul Greengrass. So
that's the old
Gold Derby. Yeah, Gold Derby is Zha, Fincher, Chung, Sorkin, Fennell, and then 6 to 10 is Regina King, Spike Lee, Paul Greengrass, Florian Zeller for The Father, and Shaka King for Judas and the Black Messiah.
That would be a shocker to hear Shaka King nominated.
Yes, it would.
I cannot see that happening.
All right, you ready? You ready for my outside the box crash the party 5th spot?
Yeah,
Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round.
That would be the Paolo Polakowski.
That'd be exactly.
Why not? Let's make it happen.
Yeah. All right. Picture time. All right. Do I have 9? I have 9. I think if any year warrants 9, it's this year. So here's my 9. I don't like it, but this is what I'm going with. I've got number 1, Nomadland. Number 2, The Trial of Chicago 7. Number 3, Minari. Number 4, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Number 5, Mank. Number 6, Promising Young Woman. Number 7, One Night in Miami. Number 8, Hillbilly Elegy. And number 9, Da 5 Bloods.
Okay. Mine's different. Well, I don't know. What's your 10? Because I was just going to read my 10 and say that there's going to be
10 is News of the World.
Okay. All right. So I have number 1, Nomadland. Number 2, Trial of Chicago 7. Number 3, Minari. Number 4, Mank. Number 5, Promising Young Woman. Number 6, Da 5 Bloods. Number 7, One Night in Miami. Number 8, Sound of Metal. Number 9, News of the World. And number 10, Judas and the Black Messiah.
Ooh. Okay.
So I don't have Ma Rainey's Black Bottom in there.
Interesting.
Or The Father.
I don't have The Father either. I think that one it's kind of squandered its campaign too much to get the picture nomination. I think it could get the acting nominations simply on the reputation of the actors and the and what has been said about the performances. Yeah,
But the
the
British nominated for Best Picture in their 5. That gives it I don't know. I think that puts it a bit back in the race pretty easily.
I had Sound of Metal 11, but I
think Sound of Metal is close to a lock. I don't know. I have it 8th, but that's just because I'm being cautious because I love the movie. It's like Whiplash. It could win sound and editing, and I don't think that a movie like that is missing on picture.
But you think Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is missing out with the actor winner and possible actress winner?
Yeah, I said that it's Walk the Line. That's what happened. Walk the Line was never going to get nominated for Best Picture with even 10 nominees.
Oh, yes, it was. It would have been in with 10.
I don't know.
It would have
go back. 10. I think King Kong gets over Walk the Line in 2005.
Okay, that's 1.
No, that's like going at the. Constant Gardner was getting in before that.
No, Constant Gardner wasn't getting in
with the screenplay nomination, acting win,
and a supporting actress win. No, I don't think so.
I don't know. We would have to revisit that. I don't think Walk the Line was getting in with 10.
Since it expanded, has there ever been a movie that was nominated for actor and actress and not gotten picture?
There just aren't that many to get nominated for both.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's what Viola Davis should be supporting. Like in my official awards, I have her supporting.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're wrong, but okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
Marriage Story did it last year. You had A Star Is Born do it in 2018. Nobody in 2017. Nobody in 2016.
Wait, La La Land was.
Oh, La La Land. Yeah, La La Land. Sorry. La La Land in 2016. 2015 didn't. 2014 had Theory of Everything. 2013 had American Hustle. 2012 Silver Linings Playbook. 2011 had none. 2010 did not have one.
That was probably the closest one, though. If Ryan Gosling had gotten in
for Blue Valentine, yeah.
But I think that's not a terrible comparison to the way that Ma Rainey's Black Bottom plays.
I think if Ryan Gosling gets in and is that popular, though, I think it crashes the party over something like Winter's Bone. 2009 didn't have one. So since the field has gone to 10, or gone to more than 5, If you get an actor and actress nomination, you are a Best Picture nominee.
And there have been how many? Like 4?
There were
5?
5 maybe in the last 20 years it's happened. I mean, so it's a rare feat to have happen to begin with, and when it does happen, you get in. And it's
But like
happened.
you said, this is a weird year.
It is a weird year, but I think it being a weird year makes it more likely that something like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom gets in.
Well, see, and the odds are on your side because Gold Derby has Ma Rainey's Black Bottom in 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Minari, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, One Night in Miami 5. I think that's a little high. Mank 6, Promising Young Woman 7, The Father 8, News of the World 9, Five Bloods 10, Judas and the Black Messiah 11, Sound of Metal 12, Soul in 13, United States versus Billie Holiday 14, First Cow in 15th, Malcolm and Marie in 16th, Hillbilly Elegy 17th. That's my stab. Pieces of a Woman 18, Tenet 19, Borat subsequent movie film 20.
Yeah, another round's down there, a few further down.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out. I like that we both have the Five Bloods in there. I really hope that gets in. I'm glad this is the last year we have to worry about. Is it 8? Is it 9? Is it 7? I mean, it's anything but 8 or 9. But starting next year, we're back to just a straight 10, which will be good.
Although it's more fun when there's only 5.
It's a lot harder if it's just 5, but I don't mind the expanded field. It's kind of nice to have.
But I like when they have the director that's nominated in the movie isn't, and that just doesn't happen very much anymore.
True. It's happened twice since they expanded.
Yeah.
Polakowski and then Bennett Miller for Foxcatcher.
Yeah. But back when they would have something like the like Peter Weir getting nominated for The Truman Show or something like that. Like those are always like the highlights because
Julian
that's
Schnabel
like,
for Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
Yeah, like this is probably the best movie, but it's a little too weird for us, so we're not going to give it Best Picture, but we're going to give it Director and be like, okay, we'll give you your props there. I liked when they used to do that. But now we get Adam McKay getting nominated for Best Director for Vice, which is just stupid.
All right. Well, I have a little trivia for you. So this is a little mini episode, but I thought we could do a little bit of Oscar trivia since we're doing Oscar nomination predictions here. Okay. Here's your trivia. This is all inspired by the potential of Regina King getting a Best Director nomination for One Night in Miami. If she does, she will become only the 6th person that has won an acting Oscar to be nominated for Best Director. So only 5. So the question is, can you name the 5 people that have won an acting Oscar and have been nominated for Best Director?
That would be George Clooney.
George Clooney is correct. Won for Syriana and was nominated for directing Good Night and Good Luck.
Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier won for Hamlet and was nominated for directing Hamlet. Yeah.
Yeah. I know we did a similar like power rankings at one point, I feel like.
Well, yeah, you did the what was it? The actors directing movies or something like that.
Yeah,
that was our list.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the framework of that was, but yeah, it was something like that. Maybe it was Oscar-nominated actors directing a movie or something like that. I feel like it was something like that.
Yeah, 3 more. 2 of which have been in the last 30 years. The other one is coming up on 100 years old.
Yeah, that one I wouldn't even. Coming up on 100, meaning it was within, what, the first 10 years of the Oscars or something like that?
Yes.
Oh,
Both
yeah,
the
yeah.
win and the nomination were in the first 10 years of the Oscars. Actually, I'll say the win and the nomination were both in the first 5 years of the Oscars. But it is a recognizable name.
Wow.
Recognizable name. Known most for a role he played in the 40s. And kind of you could say the last name has kind of become Hollywood royalty.
Like Walter Houston or something?
Kind of a similar thing, but not.
Ah, man. I should have the ones in the last 30 years. I'm trying to.
Yeah, you should.
Are there
One
both their nominations weren't, like, the director was probably later, right? Is that what you're saying?
one of them, one of the ones in the last 30 years was an Olivier situation, where he won for acting in the film he directed, and was nominated for directing.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't. It doesn't. He was quite shocked it happened too. He started walking over the chairs in the audience.
Roberto Benigni.
Roberto
Wow.
Benigni. And then the other one that happened in the last 30 years, he got the directing nomination first, and then won an acting Oscar within the next 10 years. But was known as an actor. Known as an actor. Got known as an actor.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins, yep.
Okay.
And then the legendary one was Lionel Barrymore.
I didn't know he directed.
Yeah, he won. He was nominated for 2 Oscars in his career. He won Best Actor in 1931 for A Free Soul, and was nominated for Best Director in 1929 for Madam X.
Wow. And that was when they only had like 3 nominees.
Yeah, it does say no official nominees had been announced this year, but I don't know what that means. It's listed on IMDb as he got that nomination. All right, so I have one more category. I have one more category for you now. And this category is the opposite. Can you name the 6 people who have won Best Director and have been nominated for acting?
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood is correct. I think this is an easier list.
Well, it should be. Woody Allen.
Woody Allen is correct. Won and was nominated for Annie Hall.
I mean, I want to say Sidney Pollack, but I know that's wrong.
That's wrong.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves.
I'm pretty sure Olivier didn't win Best Director.
He did not. No one, from what I found, no one has won for both acting and directing.
That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting? You kind of get the feeling that that the whole actor-director thing is a somewhat new development.
Well,
considering
they still don't. I mean, the Ben Affleck thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was never even nominated for Best Actor, but I mean, they're slow to let you get your Best Director nomination.
You got 3 more. All of them like legends. One of them you think more of as a director than an actor. The other 2, I'd say the other 2 you think, Well, I'd say one of them you think of actor before directing, the and then the third one you might think of like both at the same time. But I don't think he ever really directs in anything he doesn't act in. One's like hasn't or is like over 50 years old or over 50 years ago is was his prime. And then the other two I would say are kind of recently retired but still alive. And yet none of the three left are a situation like Costner or Woody Allen where it was all the same movie that they got the nominations and the win for.
John Huston?
John Huston is correct. He won director for Treasures of the Sierra Madre and then had a couple acting nominations along the way, I think, or maybe it was just one. Let me look it up.
Like, I know he was in Chinatown, but
He didn't get the nomination for Chinatown. He got the nomination for something else. He got a supporting acting nomination in 1963 for The Cardinal. And his only directing win was Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which he also won for writing. All right, two more. I'll give you just a little bit longer.
yeah, it's not as easy when you don't have someone to go against to like spark ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, Redford.
Redford is correct. The other one made news for an appearance at the Oscars within the last 5 years.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Well, he was nominated and for Best Actor for Reds too, though.
Oh, I guess so. But he's been nominated several times.
Yeah.
So
was that it?
That was it. That was the list.
Okay. Yeah, I did terrible.
So John Huston, Woody Allen, Warren Beatty, Robert Redford, Kevin Costner, Clint Eastwood. Those are fascinating lists, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's way more selective of a group than you would think.
Yeah. Just the idea that Regina King would be only the sixth person ever to be an acting winner and a directing nominee. And no one has won both.
That seems like the most surprising thing.
You got to think in the next 10 years that changes, right?
I would think so, yeah, because everyone's directing now.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, and Clint probably, if Clint would have won Best Actor for Unforgiven or something like that, nobody would have thought twice. But
Clint's only acting nomination was $1 Million Baby.
Well, he was nominated for Unforgiven.
I saw he wasn't. Let me double check this. I might be wrong. But I thought I saw that his only acting nomination was $1 Million Baby. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yes, he was. Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby he was nominated for. You're right. Okay. So he's got 2 acting nominations and then a bunch of other nominations.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was some good trivia. It's time to wrap this up. Quote of the day time. I will go first.
Because I did not win trivia.
Because you did not win trivia. I won trivia for coming up with the freaking awesome categories. That's one that I feel like I could only do with one person too. I don't think that would have gone really well. It's like go back and forth on a category of 5.
Exactly.
All right. So my quote comes from City Slickers. And this is Billy Crystal's character, Mitch, summing up what life is like as he's at career day for his son's class. His son, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, by the way. Here's what he says here's his advice to the class. He says, value this time in your life, kids, because this is the time in your life when you still have your choices, and it goes by so quickly. When you're a teenager, you think you can do anything, and you do. Your 20s are a blur. Your 30s, you raise your family, you make little money, and you think to yourself, what happened to my 20s? Your 40s, you grow a little pot belly and you grow another chin. The music starts to get too loud, and one of your old girlfriends from high school becomes a grandmother. Your 50s, you have a minor surgery. You'll call it a procedure, but it's a surgery. Your 60s, you have a major surgery. The music is still too loud, but it doesn't matter because you can't hear it anyways. 70s, you and the wife retire to Fort Lauderdale. You start eating dinner at 2, lunch around 10, breakfast the night before. And you spend most of your time wandering around malls looking for the ultimate in soft yogurt and muttering, how come the kids don't call? By your 80s, you've had a major stroke, and you end up babbling to some Jamaican nurse who your wife can't stand, but you call mama. Any questions? I mean, it's like the greatest like depressed rant I've heard in movies in a long time.
I can hear him saying that too.
Yeah. All right, Todd, what do you got?
Well, I was just going to quote, since his Critics' Choice Awards are tonight, like one of my favorite moments in that award show was in the 2012 awards when Ben Affleck was winning Best Director at the Critics' Choice Awards. The night that he got snubbed, the morning he got snubbed by the Oscars for Best Director,
Yes.
He gets up there completely shocked, and the first thing he says is, well, I'd like to thank the Academy. No, I'm just kidding. This is actually the one that counts. And that is why I love live award shows and why I can't wait till they can actually happen again.
You never know what's going to happen. Awesome. All right, with that, we're going to bring this podcast to a close. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back at you very soon with a deep dive. Do we want to announce what the deep dive is? We can announce it.
Okay. It is the movie directed by Oscar winner Peter Farrelly, Shallow Hal from 2001.
Shallow Hal, 20 years ago, Shallow Hal. That'll be our next deep dive when we come back at you next week. Until then, have fun watching movies, and we'll catch you on the flip side.